Hi, I'm Miss Wong. Let's look at factorizing difference of two squares. Here we have the formula difference of two squares. If we expanded these two factors, it's called expanding and we will obtain that. If we were looking for these two factors, we would be factorizing. That's what we're doing today. Last time we used the brackets to help us expand, and we're going to use the brackets today to help us factorize as well. It's going to help us identify what the first term is, that A, and it's going to help us determine what B is, the second term. So whatever goes in that bracket, we're going to put it in as the first term, and whatever goes in the second bracket, it's going to be a second term. Let's try our first example. How do we go from there into the two factors? Let's use the brackets, and now we think what squared gives us 25, that is 5. What squared gives us a squared, that is a. So now we've identified what these two terms are. All we have to do now is put them into these two brackets. So we put the 5 in the first side of the bracket, and then we put a in that second slot over there. And now we have factorized it. And you can check by expanding. Let's do one more example. Again, brackets. Let's think of what squared gives us x squared, that's x. What squared gives us 64, that is 8. And now we have our first and second term. So do the brackets and then put the first term in the first two spaces and put the second term, 8, in the next two spaces. And now we've found our factorized form. Let's recap what we did. First, we square rooted the two values. And then once we found those two values, we drew the brackets. And thirdly, we fill in the brackets. Let's do it again. 144 minus 25a squared. First step, figure out what the two terms are. So what squared is 144? That is 12. What squared gives us 25a squared? That is 5a. Now that we have that, step 2 is draw the brackets. And then step 3 is simply fill it in. So the 12 goes here and here, and the 5a there and there. And that's it. So you can do this one on your own. Pause the video and unpause when you're done. So again, brackets, figure out what goes in there. That is 3m. What times what is 16? That's 4n. And now draw the brackets and write 3m in the first two spots and then 4n in the second two spots. It doesn't matter if you have plus and minus or minus and plus, as long as they're both different signs. Let's do a slightly more challenging question. 100x squared minus 36. What do you notice? We can take out a highest common factor. They're both divisible by 4. 4 times what is 100? That is 25. So we have 4, open bracket, 25x squared minus, and then what times 4 is 36? 9. So now that we have found the highest common factor, we can continue on using the previous method with smaller values. It's much easier. So now we have 4, and then we have the two brackets, and then we think what goes into these two brackets. So square root of 25x squared is 5x, and square root of 9 is 3. And now we do that third step where we put the brackets and fill in the gaps with the first value and the second value. Now, some of you might use the previous method and forget to take the highest common factor out. Does it work? Well, it does. You can go 100x squared. What value goes in there is 10x. What is the square root of 36? It would be 6. And then you would write that into the two brackets. And then you would notice, or you should notice, that they are both all divisible by 2. Now, if you stop there, you would lose marks because it's not fully factorized. So it's a lot safer and more efficient to take out the highest common factor. However, if you've accidentally done that and you're up to this step, how would you continue to get full marks? You would have to realize, well, I can take out 2 from in here and I can take out a 2 in there. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So now we have 5x plus 3 here and 5x minus 3 there. So you can see that you can still get to the same answer, but it's tricky and you might forget and lose marks if you stop at that step over there. So always, always, always when factorizing, look for the highest common factor. Let's try an even slightly harder question. This time in our two colorful brackets, the first term is this whole thing here, a plus 3. See, a plus 3 squared is a plus 3 squared. And in the second bracket we have, for square root of 49 is simply 7. So be very careful of this section over here. And you can see that it's one squared minus and the other square. So it's the same pattern, slightly different. Now we fill in the brackets with the first term and the second term. And I like doing that bracket method so that I don't mistakenly put negatives where they shouldn't belong. Now we look at that and we clearly see that we can simplify. So we have 3 plus 7 is 10 and 3 minus 7 is minus 4. Have a go at these examples, pause the video and then unpause to check your answers. First question, that's easy. We have 4 and a as our value, so 4 minus a, 4 plus a. And 121 square root of that is 11, so we have 11m and n as our second term. Square root of 49 again is 7, square root of 4 is 2, so we have 7a and minus 2b, 7a plus 2b. And here we have a common factor, so take out the highest common factor, which is 9. So we're left with x squared minus 9, which gives us x plus 3 and x minus 3. It doesn't matter if you have the minus or the plus in the other order, so it doesn't matter if you had plus there, minus there, as long as one of them is plus and one of them is minus. This one here is slightly trickier. We have the value as 5m and the other value as m minus 2. So we can write it out like that. Use brackets. It's very easy to get confused here. So we have minus m and then plus 2 over here. Minus minus is plus. And here we have m minus 2. So now we can simplify. 5 minus m is 4m and 5 plus m is 6m. Your answer could be this or 6m minus 2 times 4m plus 2. But the plus is definitely with the 4 and the minus is definitely with the 6. So that's the last question for this video. Make sure that you go back and try again any questions you got incorrect, or you might want to watch the whole video again and try the questions before I give the solutions. In any case, make sure that you're very comfortable with these questions because you'll need these skills for the next video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!